last year sometime I did a captured ring demo for y'all. And I did it with the skew. My club was asking me to do another demo on goblets. And I got asked if I had a captured ring tool, and I said, no, I've just been doing them with the skew. But they got me to thinking that I'd really like a captured ring tool. So I made one this week. So there's my handle. It's out of cherry.
Nice.
And a piece of steel. And it's slightly tapered. Oops, let me turn it this way for y'all. It's slightly tapered down toward this way. And the tip of it is angled slightly, so it's cutting with the inside edge. And I did this all mostly with a Dremel. So, and this is 1/2 inch, and I used the Dremel, one of the sanding mandrels as the outline for it. I just put it on the metal and drew an outline with a Sharpie, and then cut down to it. And it works real well. And this is my practice piece this week, makes big rings and smaller rings. So
there you go.
Where'd you find that? Where'd you find the metal, Matt?
On Amazon. If y'all want the link, I'll put a link in here in the chat for it.
That steel's actually tapered in itself, right?
It wasn't. It's just a square piece. It's a square piece of steel.
All right. It was.
And the tapering was done by me. It's mostly by intention and sometimes a little bit accidental. So, but yeah, I tapered it, and I think that I will probably taper this a little bit more this way. Just, because it seems like the ones online seem to be more tapered. I'll try that. And if I don't like it, then I can always cut it off and go at it again. So
did you heat and or temper the steel any after you created the device?
I have not. I have several people have asked me that on Facebook, and I will have to look into how to do that. So
it's not M2.
It's high speed steel. It's HSS.
Okay.
It's nothing.
You're fine. You're fine.
It shouldn't need to be.
You don't need to.
No.
You don't need to.
If it's high speed,
all I did was when I was cutting it with the Dremel, and I did use my angle grinder a little bit when I was doing the taper, and I haven't put it on my grinder at all. But when it started to get too hot, I just dipped it in some water to cool it down. And I don't know if that's hurt it or helped it, but that's what I've done with it.
It didn't hurt it. You're fine.
No, yeah, it's perfectly fine. It doesn't need hardening.
Nope, it's already hard.
Yep.
Unless you get it really, really hot, you're not going to untemper it.
But on a grinding wheel, you are never going to get a piece of metal hot enough to remove the temper.
You don't.
That is an old wives' tale. When you turn your steel blue on the grinding wheel, that's not removing the temper, unless it's carbon steel, which has a lower heat tolerance for hardening. But for high-speed steel, just because it turns blue, it does not mean you left the hardening on the grinding wheel. It's you can't get enough friction to.
Okay, cool.
2,000 Fahrenheit to remove the hardness from the steel.
All right, well that's my gallery for this week. But I'm tickled pink at how well this tool works. So it's very quick. It's a lot quicker than using the skew. And I mean, you can see that in this little bit of wood, I got 3 rings out of this, and the space here is more for aesthetics than anything else. So it really hooks around behind these really well. So, and I could turn a bigger one, a thicker one than the one I've got on here. So I don't know, but I'm delighted with the tool. So
Matt, how would you sharpen that?
Well, all I've been doing, I mean, I've got these little honing cards, okay? Yeah. And basically where I'm cutting is I'm cutting on the inside edge of the curve here. So all I'm doing to sharpen it is I'm just running this, not that side, this side, is I'm just running this along that inside edge.
Okay.
Okay. That's all I'm doing. And if I feel, and if it's got crusty on here, then I just run it like that on here too, to remove the crust. So, I mean, what you want is you want this leading corner here to be sharp sharp corner. That
Got it.
seems to work best. Now, when I'm turning and I'm on the tool rest, oh, one other thing I've done here with this is I've got on my belt sander and I rolled over the edges on this. So the edges are rounded. They're not sharp. So it seems to cut best when I roll the tool up and cut it on the corner like that. It seems to work better and cut quicker that way. And that might be because this is a little too thick in here. So anyway, I'm going to experiment a little bit more with it, but
Matt, when you tip it up like that, the burr is addressing the wood rather than the flat surface. So what you're doing is just hitting it with the burr.
I hear you, but it doesn't have a burr on it. Okay, what I'm hitting it with is the corner, and when I tilt it up, I hit it with that sharp corner edge. It's more of a, think of it as I add some negative rake to the scraper.
More like a negative rake.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
By the way,
so
mine is sloped in on both sides too, so you can use it on left orient or right oriented, and you can cut both sides of the ring.
Yep. So yeah, and that's what I'm doing. So yeah.